Krishna, Krishna, Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we continue reading from Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 7, text 6. Etad yonini bhutani
एतद् योनीनि भूतानि
sarvaniti upadharaya
सर्वानिति उपधारय
aham kritsnasya jagata
अहं कृष्णस्य जगतः
prabhava pralayastatha.
प्रभवप्रलयस्तथा
You'll read.
Yeah, I'll read. Translation. All created beings have their source in these two natures, of all that is material and all that is spiritual in this world. Know for certain that I am both the origin and the dissolution. Everything that exists is a product of matter and spirit. Spirit is the basic field of creation, and matter is created by spirit. Spirit is not created at a certain stage of material development. Rather, this material world is manifested only on the basis of spiritual energy. This material body is developed because spirit is present within matter. A child grows gradually to boyhood and then to manhood because that superior energy, spirit soul, is present. Similarly, the entire cosmic manifestation of the gigantic universe is developed because of the presence of the super soul Vishnu. Therefore, spirit and matter, which combine to manifest the gigantic universal form, are originally two energies of the Lord, and consequently, the Lord is the original cause of everything. A fragmental part and parcel of the Lord, namely the living entity, may be the cause of a big skyscraper, a big factory, or even a big city, but he cannot be the cause of a big universe. The cause of the big universe is the big soul or the super soul, and Krishna, the Supreme, is the cause of both the big and small souls. Therefore, he is the original cause of all causes. This is confirmed in the Katha Upanishad. Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Cheta Nanam.
So we may wonder, who creates this material world? Who do I belong to? Where have I come from? You know, so here Krishna is saying the spiritual and the material both belong to him. We may think that the material universe has no creator, but Krishna is saying belongs to him. Whatever we see in this material world is a combination of the material energy and the living entity. Whatever we are seeing in this material world, the material elements are there. For example, our bodies are made of material elements, but we, the soul, are inside. Or the things that we use, they're all made up of material elements. Means they're all made up of the material energy. And then we are using them, the spirit soul who's inside the body. So if we look around, that's what we'll see, that there is the soul or there are the material elements. And Krishna is saying that he is the cause of both of them. We may think that, oh, I am the creator, I'm the creator. But yeah, we can create, as Prabhupada is saying, we can create a skyscraper, we can create laptops in our factories or cars or mobile phones. But we cannot create the sun, we cannot create the moon, the air, the water. We are using these things to create other things for our use. Uh, so sure, we are the creators of these laptops and mobile phones. But who's the creator of the material elements, the material universe? Krishna is saying he is the creator. He's the cause. not only of the universe, but also of us. We exist because Krishna exists. And then Prabhupada is quoting here, Kathopanishad, Nityo Nityanam, Chaitanas Chaitananam. There are so many eternals. And out of all these eternals, there is one eternal who is maintaining all the other eternals. That's Krishna. And Krishna is called cause of all causes. Sarva Karana Karanam, Lord Brahma says in Brahma Samhita. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Mata Parataram Nanya.
Mata Parataram Nanya.
Kinchit Asti Dhananjay.
Kinchid Asti Dhananjay.
Mai Sarvam Idam Protam.
Mayi Sarvam Idam Protam.
Sutre Manigana Iva.
Sutre Manam Gana Iva. Translation. O conqueror, O wealth, there is no truth superior to me. Everything rests upon me as pearls are strung on a thread. There is a common controversy over whether the supreme absolute truth is personal or impersonal. As far as Bhagavad Gita is concerned, the absolute truth is the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, and this is confirmed in every step. In this verse in particular, it is stressed that the absolute truth is a person, that the personality of Godhead is the supreme absolute truth, is also the affirmation of the Brahma Samhita. Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchit Ananda Vigraha. That is the supreme absolute truth. The personality of Godhead is Lord Krishna, who is the primeval Lord, the reservoir of all pleasure. Govinda and the eternal form of complete bliss and knowledge. These authorities leave no doubt that the absolute truth is the supreme person, the cause of all causes. The impersonalist, however, argues on the strength of the Vedic version given in the Shvetashvara Upanishad, Tato Yad Uttarataram, Tad Arupam Andamayam, Ya Itad Vidur Amritas, Te Bhavanti Athetare Dukham Eva Piyanti. In the material world, Brahma, the primeval being, the primeval living entity within the universe, is understood to be the supreme amongst demigods, human beings, and lower animals. But beyond Brahma, there is a transcendence who has no material form and is free from all material contaminations. Anyone who can know him also becomes transcendental. But those who do not know him suffer the miseries of the material world. The impersonalist puts more stress on the word arupam, but this arupam is not impersonal. It indicates the transcendental form of eternity, bliss, and knowledge as described in the Brahma Samhita quoted above. Other verses in the Shvetasvara Upanishad substantiate this as follows. Ved, Veda Vedaham etam purusham mahantam aditya varnam tamasa parastat tam eva vidyavati mritam eti nanya pantha vidyate ya naya yasmat param naparam aste kinchit yasma naniyo na jayo sti kinchit vishkva iva stabdo divi tishtati ekas tenedam purnam purushena sarvam. He, I know that supreme personality of Godhead was transcendental to all material conceptions of darkness. Only He knows Him can transcend the bonds of birth and death. There is no way for liberation other than this knowledge of that Supreme Person. There is no truth superior to that Supreme Person because He is the supermost. He's smaller than the smallest and He's greater than the greatest. He's situated as a silent tree and He illuminates the transcendental sky. And as a tree spreads its roots, He spreads His extensive energies. From these verses, one concludes that the Supreme Absolute Truth is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is all pervading by His multi energies, both material and spiritual.
So this is a very widely quoted verse. Mata parataram nanyat kinchit asti dhananjaya mai sarvam idam protam sutre mani gana iva. Krishna is saying there's no truth superior to me. We're always trying to understand the truth. What's the truth? What's the truth? The absolute truth is Krishna. There's no truth beyond Krishna. Krishna is the supreme absolute truth. And he's saying everything rests upon me as pearls are strung on a thread. Everything that we can see, we cannot see, it belongs to Krishna. It's Krishna's energy. The material world, the spiritual world, the living entities, we are all Krishna's energy. So Prabhupada is pointing out that sometimes people think that God is not a person. And uh, the Vaishnavas, of course, they know that God is a person because Bhagavad Gita is at every moment, Bhagavad Gita is saying, yes, that Supreme Personality of Godhead is Sri Krishna. Krishna is standing in front of Arjuna. And the form that he is and that he's standing in front of Arjuna is not a material form. As Lord Brahma says, Satchidananda Vigraha, Ishvara Parama Krishna, Satchidananda Vigraha. That Krishna's form is not material, it is transcendental. Even though he is standing in front of Arjuna, even when he comes in the material world, he does not take a material form. His form is transcendental. That's the difference between Krishna and us. When we are in the material world, we take up material forms, this material body. But Krishna never. He comes in his own transcendental form. And Krishna is the cause of all causes. And the scriptures say, if we can understand this Supreme Person, that is liberation. There may be different processes of liberation, but here the surest, the fastest way of liberation is just to understand Krishna, the Supreme Person. Krishna himself says in Bhagavad Gita also, Janma karma cha me divyam evam yoveti tattvataha. Evam yoveti tattvataha. Understanding Krishna in truth. Then, naiti mameti so Arjuna. Mamopetya. That no need, one doesn't come back to the material world once one understands Krishna. So Prabhupada is saying that some people, when they hear this verse in the Shrateshvatara Upanishad, that in the material world, Brahma, the primeval living entity within the universe, is understood to be the supreme among the demigods, human beings, and lower animals. But beyond Brahma, there is transcendence who has no material form and is free from all material contaminations. Anyone who can know him also becomes transcendental. But those who do not know him suffer the miseries of the material world. So even the Shvetashvatara Upanishad is saying that anyone who knows God, who can understand God, he gets liberation. He gets liberated. He does not need to be here again and again in this world of birth and death. Now, Arupam, because it's mentioned Arupam, so people think that, oh, that God has no form. But arupam does not mean he has no form. It means he has no material form. He has a spiritual form. He's standing right in front of Arjuna. He's showing his spiritual form. And there's so many other verses in the same Shvateshvatara Upanishad, which show that yes, of course, God has a form, and he's being called he. He's not being called it. He's being called he, right? He has a form. It's not saying that one who knows it. If God was not a person, then the Vedas should say, oh, one who knows it. You know, no, he is a person, isn't it? That's why he's being called him. So there are other verses in the same Shveteshvatara Upanishad that substantiate that God is a person, that only one who, that's the Supreme Lord, he is transcendental, he's not material, and only one who can know him can get out of this cycle of birth and death, that there is no other way for liberation, Shveteshvatara Upanishad is saying, other than understanding Krishna. Yes, and there's no way for liberation other than this knowledge of that supreme person. To understand that God is not material, he's transcendental. Even when he's coming in the material world, he's coming in his own transcendental form. And again, the same Shveteshvatara Upanishad is saying that there is no truth superior to that supreme person. So again and again, he's been called the supreme person, the supreme personality of Godhead. And he's been called he. He is the supermost, smaller than the smallest, greater than the greatest. He's as a silent tree, illumines the transcendental sky, spreads his extensive energies. So the supreme absolute truth is a person who has this he's omnipotent. He has these many, many energies, material energy, spiritual energy. And by his energies, he's omnipresent. He's a person and he has these wonderful energies. Is that okay?
Yes.
Soham apsu kaunteya.
So हम
Sorry, your voice is breaking. Prabhasmi
Oh,
Shashi Suryayo.
Asmi Shashi Suryayo
Pranava Sarva Vedeshu.
Pranava Sharva Vedeshu
Shabda Ke Paurusham Nishu.
Sabdake Paru Shamrishu. Translation. O son of Kunti, I am the taste of water, the light of the sun and the moon, the syllable Om in the Vedic mantras. I am the sound in ether and ability in man. This verse explains how the Lord is all pervasive by his diverse material and spiritual energies. The Supreme Lord can be preliminarily perceived by his different energies, and in this way, he is realized impersonally. As the demigod in the sun is a person and is perceived by his all pervading energy, the sunshine, so the Lord, although in his eternal abode, is perceived by his all pervading diffusive energies. The taste of water is the active principle of water. No one likes to drink sea water because the pure taste of water is mixed with salt. Attraction for water depends on the purity of the taste, and this pure taste is one of the energies of the Lord. The impersonalist perceive the presence of the Lord in water by its taste, and the personalist also glorifies the Lord for his kindly supplying tasty water to quench man's thirst. That is the way of perceiving the Supreme. Practically speaking, there is no conflict between personalism and impersonalism. One who knows God knows that the impersonal conception and the personal conception are simultaneously present, and there is no contradiction. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya established a sublime doctrine, Achintya Bheda and Abheda Tattva, simultaneous oneness and difference. The light of the sun and the moon is also originally emanating from the Brahma Jyotir, which is the impersonal effulgence of the Lord, and Pranava, or the Omkara transcendental sound in the beginning of every Vedic hymn, address the Super Lord, because the
Supreme Lord
impersonalists, sorry,
addresses the Supreme Lord.
yeah, addresses the Supreme Lord. Because the impersonalists are very much afraid of addressing the Supreme Lord Krishna by his innumerable names, they prefer to vibrate the transcendental sound Omkara, but they do not realize that Omkara is the sound representation of Krishna. The jurisdiction of Krishna consciousness extends everywhere, and one who knows Krishna consciousness is blessed. Those who do not know Krishna are an illusion, and so knowledge of Krishna is liberation, and ignorance of him is bondage.
So Krishna, first he says that Mata Parataram Nanyat Kinchid Asti Dhananjayam. Everything is resting on him. Everything, as pearls are strung on a thread. You know, the pearl, it can become a necklace. We can't see the thread, but they are strung on the thread, no? We can't, when we are wearing the pearl necklace, the thread can't be seen, and only the pretty pearls. Similarly, this universe is standing, and who's behind it is Krishna. He's the creator behind it. And then now he's giving a few of his energies, how he's present. He's saying the taste of water. The water, we say water is tasteless, but water has a particular taste which we are always um, desiring. And only when we drink water does our thirst actually get quenched. You know, we may drink other liquids, but till the time we don't drink water, we don't feel satisfied. And then Krishna is saying, the light of the sun and the moon. He's saying, I am the light of the sun and the moon. Where is this light of the sun and moon coming from? It's coming from the original light, the Brahma Jyoti, the Brahman. And where is the Brahma Jyoti Brahman coming from? It's coming from the body of Krishna. Just as the sunshine is coming from the sun planet, the Brahman is coming from the body of Krishna. So, you know, when it's bright, one may not be able to see the sun. Or when a child is there, he may not understand that the sunshine is coming from the sun. He just sees the sunshine and he thinks that's the sun. But when he understands, the sunshine is coming from the sun, then that is higher knowledge. So similarly, the Brahma Jyoti, where is it coming from? It's coming from the body of Krishna. And Krishna is saying he is the syllable Om in the Vedic mantras. You know, all the mantras start with Om, Om, Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, like that. Om, always. So who is this Om? This is Krishna. Some people are afraid to say Krishna. You know, some people are afraid to address him as a person. So they address him as Om, but it's the same. There is no difference. And sound and ether. Sound is the basic foundation of this entire material creation. First was created sound, and then all the material elements were created. So Krishna is saying he's the sound in ether. And ability, we have certain ability that with which we do things, we create things, we think about things, and this ability is given to us by Krishna. So Prabhupada is explaining that achintya bheda abheda tattva. That's what Lord Chaitanya came to teach us, simultaneous, one and different. Sunshine is sun also. When the sunshine is in the room, we say, oh, the sun is in the room. But it's not really the sun. But we do say it. Why? Because sunshine is the energy of the sun. So all these are energies of Krishna. And that's how we are using it in that context. Krishna himself, he's a person. Doesn't mean because he's the taste of water, he doesn't exist anymore. No, it's his energy. Water is one of his energies. The light is one of his energies. It's coming from his body. The Omkar, that is his sound representation, but yet he is a person. Yes, is that okay? And all the Shastras say that one who can understand Krishna can get liberated. And so Prabhupada is saying, those who do not know Krishna are in illusion. So the knowledge of Krishna is liberation and ignorance of him is bondage. So the more we know Krishna, the more we are on our path to liberation. Knowing Krishna, understanding Krishna in truth, Krishna's position as the supreme absolute truth. Is that okay?
Yes.
Punyo Gandha Prithivyam Cha
Punyo Gandha Prithvyam Cha
Tejas Chasmi Vibhavaso
Tejas Chashmi Vibhavasaho
Jivanam Sarva Bhuteshu
Jivanam Sarva Bhuteshu
Tapas Chasmi Tapasvishu.
Tapas Chashmi Tapas Vishu. Translation: I am the original fragrance of the earth, and I am the heat and fire. I am the life of all that life, and I am the penance of all aesthetics. Punya means that which is not decomposed. Punya is original. Everything in this material world has a certain flavor or fragrance, at the flavor and fragrance in a flower, or in the earth, in water, in fire, in air, etc. The uncontaminated flavor, the original flavor, which permeates everything in Krishna. Similarly,
Is
everything has a particular
everything is said
in
the
is
uncontaminated?
Krishna.
Yes.
Similarly, everything has a particular original taste, and this taste can be changed by the mixture of chemicals. So everything original has some smell, some fragrance, and some taste. Vib, uh, Vibha Vashu means fire. Without fire, we cannot run factories, we cannot cook, etc. And that fire is Krishna. The heat in the fire is Krishna. According to Vedic medicine, indigestion is due to low temperature in the belly. So even for digestion, fire is needed. In Krishna consciousness, we become aware that earth, water, fire, air, and every active principle, all chemicals and all material elements are due to Krishna. The duration of man's life is also due to Krishna. Therefore, by the grace of Krishna, man can prolong his life or diminish it. So, Krishna consciousness is active in every sphere.
Krishna is continuing to say the fragrance of the earth. The flowers have smell, the earth has a smell. Where is this fragrance coming from? This fragrance is coming from Krishna. The heat of the fire. Why does the fire have heat? Krishna is saying he's the heat. So what happens is people think, oh, now because Krishna has become the fragrance of earth, Krishna has become the fire and the heat. Krishna is the taste of water. Krishna is the sound in ether. Krishna is the life of all that lives. He's the penance. So now Krishna does not exist anymore. No, everything is Krishna's energy. This is how he's omnipotent. He's a person and he has all these energies. The earth, water, air, fire, ether, all these are his energies. No, he's saying this as the material energies. So everything is created by him. Yet he's a person. Yeah. He's a person who has these wonderful, wonderful energies. Bijam mam sarva bhutanam
Bijam mam sarva bhutanam
vidhi partha sanatanam
vidhi partha sanatanam
buddhir buddhi matam asmi
buddhir buddhi matam asmi
tejas tejas vinam aham.
tejas tejas vinam aham. Translation: O son of Pratha, know that I am the original seed of all the existences, the intelligence of the intelligent, and the prowess of all powerful men. Bijam means Krishna is the seed of everything. There are various living entities, movable and inert. Birds, beasts, men, and many other living creatures are moving living entities. Trees and plants, however, are inert. They cannot move but only stand. Every entity is contained within the scope of 84 life species of life. Some of them are moving and some of them are inert. In all cases, however, the seed of their life is Krishna. As stated in Vedic literature, Brahman, or the supreme absolute truth, is that from which everything is emanating. Krishna is Parabrahman, the supreme spirit. Brahman is impersonal and Parabrahman is personal. Impersonal Brahman is situated in the personal aspect that is stated in Bhagavad Gita. Therefore, originally Krishna is the source of everything. He is the root. As the root of a tree maintains the whole tree, Krishna, being the original root of all things, maintains everything in this material manifestation. This is also confirmed in the Vedic literature, Katha Upanishad. Nityo nityanam chetanas chetanam eko bahunam yo vidadati kaman. He is the prime eternal among all eternals. He is the supreme living entity of all living entities, and he alone is maintaining all life. One cannot do anything without intelligence, and Krishna also says that he is the root of all intelligence. Unless a person is intelligent, he cannot understand the supreme personality of Godhead Krishna.
So Krishna is saying he's the original seed of all existences. Why do we exist? Because Krishna exists. Everyone is Krishna's energy. So we are existing because Krishna exists. The soul. Why does the soul exist? Because Krishna exists. We are part and parcel of Krishna. We're part and parcel. We simply have to understand this. The absolute truth, as Prabhupada is mentioning here, all the Shastras, they say absolute truth is understood as um, as from who everything is emanating. Everything is coming from the absolute truth. Brahman is impersonal and Para-Brahman is personal. When we are saying Brahman, that's the light which is coming from the body of Krishna. And when we are saying Para-Brahman, that's Krishna himself. Because where is the light coming from? What's the base, the foundation of this light? The light is coming from Krishna. Just as the sunshine is coming from the sun in our houses, the light is coming from the light bulb. So Krishna, he's the source, he's the root, because he is the energetic. Everything is his energy. That's why he's being called the origin, the root. He's maintaining everything. Katha Upanishad is saying there are so many eternals. And among all these eternals, there's one supreme eternal who's maintaining everyone and everything. And that's Krishna. By his energy, he is maintaining us and maintaining everything. Where does intelligence comes from? Comes from Krishna. When he's saying he's the source, when we are saying source, means everything is coming from him. So everything that we can see, we cannot see, comes from Krishna. He's the cause of all causes. So, as he's saying, light of the sun and moon, taste of water, fragrance of earth, ability in man, sound in ether, everything comes from him. Now, because everything is coming from him doesn't mean he's not a person. He's still a person. Everything is his energy. He's saying he's the intelligence of the intelligent. Wherever we see intelligence, that is Krishna's mercy. He's the power. There are many strong men. He'll say, and the powerful man, Krishna later says he's the strength of the strong. This is prowess, powerful. There are many people who have so much powers by their influence, they're able to do so many things. That's Krishna. It's Krishna's energy. Balam balatvam chaham. Balavatam chaham. Balavatam chaham.
Balam balavatam chaham.
Kamaraga vivarjitam.
Kamaraga vivarjitam.
Dharma viruddho bhuteshu.
Dharma viruddho bhuteshu.
Kamosmi bharatarshava.
Kamosmi Bharata Sabha. Translation. I am the strength of the strong, devoid of passion and desire. I am sex life which is not contrary to religious principles. O Lord of Bharata, Arjuna. The strong man's strength should be applied to protect the weak, not for personal aggression. Similarly, sex life, according to religious principle dharma, should be for the propagation of children, not otherwise. The responsibility of parents is then to make their offspring Krishna conscious.
Krishna is saying he's the strength of the strong. Some of us may be more strong and some of us may be less, but this strength, where is it coming from? It's coming from Krishna. Sex life, Krishna is saying, which is not contrary to religious principles, means to have Krishna conscious children. It's also coming from Krishna. So that Prabhupada points out that's our responsibility as parents to make the children Krishna conscious. Ye cheva sattvika bhava.
Ye chaiva sattvika bhava.
Rajasas tamasascha ye.
Rajasa tamasascha ye.
Ata eveti tan vidhi.
Mata eveti tan vidhi.
Natva aham teshu te mayi.
Natvam aham teshu te mayi. Translation. Know that all states of being, be they of goodness, passion, or ignorance, are manifested by my energy. I am, in one sense, everything, but I am independent. I am not under the modes of material nature, for they, on the contrary, are within me. All material activities in the world are being conducted under the three modes of material nature. Although these material modes of nature are emanations from the Supreme Lord Krishna, he is not subject to them. For instance, under the state laws, one may be punished, but the king, the lawmaker, is not subject to that law. Similarly, all the modes of material nature, goodness, passion, and ignorance, are emanations from the Supreme Lord Krishna. But Krishna is not subject to material nature. Therefore, he is nirguna, which means that these gunas or moods, although issuing from him, do not affect him. That is one of the special characteristics of Bhagwan or the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
So then Krishna is saying the three modes of nature, they are created by him. He's saying, I am in one sense everything, but I am independent because everything belongs to Krishna. Everything is Krishna's energy. Like a big man, big industrialist, all these factories, the machines, the people, they're all working under his control. So they're all his energy. Work is going on. He is sitting at home. Work is going on under his direction. So in one sense, it's his, no? It's him because it's his under his order that everything is going on. But doesn't mean he's personally become the machine or personally become the workers. He himself is sitting, but by his energy, everything is going around. Similarly, here, by Krishna's energy, this whole material world is working. And we are also his energy. So the modes of goodness, passion, and ignorance, they belong to Krishna. Everything belongs to Krishna, but he's not under their control. They, he is their controller. He is the lawmaker who has decided that the modes are going to act in this way. The modes cannot influence him. So Prabhupada explains us that, for example, in a prison, the prisoners are subject to the laws of the prison, no? They cannot come and go as they like. They have to follow the law. They have to wear the prisoner uniform, whatever is in the prison. But when the king enters the prison, the king is entering by his own will. It's not that some people forced him to come there. And he can leave also whenever he likes, as his will. And he doesn't wear a prison uniform. He comes in his own kingly dress. But if the prisoners think, oh, the king has also become a prisoner like me, then the prisoner is mistaken. King is just visiting. And in fact, if the prisoner can understand, oh, this is king, he's free, he has the power to let me get out of the prison. Let me approach him, let me talk to him. Then that is a sign of intelligence. But if the prisoner keeps saying, oh, the king has also become a prisoner, he's wasting this opportunity. So the laws of material nature, we are under the laws of this material nature because we are inside this material body, but not Krishna. Krishna that's why he's called Nirguna. Nirguna doesn't mean that he has no qualities, but it means that he is not under the control of the material qualities. He has no material qualities. He has only spiritual qualities. When we say qualities, it doesn't mean qualities are only material. No, because everything is coming from Krishna, so there has to be the spiritual qualities. And the truth is in the spiritual world. In the material world, it's all reflection, perverted reflection. Is that okay? And all our activities in this material world are under the control of the three modes of material nature. This is how material energy controls us. Goodness, passion, and ignorance, each of us are controlled by these modes. We are bound to this world by these modes. So we may have a desire to do something. And depending on what mode we are in, that's how we will choose to act. Desire to eat. So then what is our mode? Based on that, we are going to choose. We are going to eat a particular kind of food, depending on the mode that we are influenced by. mode of goodness, passion, or ignorance. Food, of course, is best to have Krishna Prasad, offer to Krishna, and so we can rise above the modes. Tribhir gunam mayer bhaver. Ebi sarvam idam jagat. Mohitam na
Sarvam
abhijanati.
mohita nabhijanati.
Mam ebhya param avyayam.
Mam ebhya param avyayam. Translation. Deluded by the three modes, goodness, passion, and ignorance, the whole world does not know me, who am above the modes and inexhaustible. The whole world is enchanted by the three modes of material nature. Those who are bewildered by these three modes cannot understand that transcendental to this material nature is the Supreme Lord Krishna. Every living entity under the influence of material nature has a particular type of a body and a particular type of physiological and biological activities accordingly. There are four classes of men functioning in the three material modes of nature. Those who are purely in the mode of goodness are called Brahmanas. Those who are purely in the mode of passion are called Kshatriyas. Those who are in the mode of both passion and ignorance are called Vaisyas. Those who are completely in ignorance are called Shudras. And those who are less than that are animals or animal life. However, these designations are not permanent. I may be either a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, or whatever. In any case, this life is temporary. But although life is temporary and we do not know what we are going to be in the next life by the spell of this illusionary energy, we consider ourselves in terms of this bodily conception of life, and we thus think that we are American, Indian, Russian, or Brahman, Hindu, Muslim, etc. And if we become entangled with the modes of material nature, then we forget the Supreme Personality of Godhead who is behind all these modes. So Lord Krishna says that living entities deluded by these three modes of nature do not understand that behind the material background is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There are many different kinds of living entities, human beings, demigods, animals, etc. And each and every one of them is under the influence of material nature. And all of them have forgotten the transcendent personality of Godhead. Those who are in the modes of passion and ignorance, and even those who are in the mode of goodness, cannot go beyond the impersonal Brahman conception of the absolute truth. They are bewildered before the Supreme Lord and his personal feature, which possesses all beauty, opulence, knowledge, strength, fame, and renunciation. When even those who are in goodness cannot understand what hope is there for those in passion and ignorance, Krishna consciousness is transcendental to all these three modes of material nature, and those who are truly established in Krishna consciousness are actually liberated.
So Krishna is saying that how we are deluded by these modes of nature, goodness, passion, and ignorance. Whatever we see around us, you know, is in these modes. Krishna will speak more about the modes in the later chapters. You know, what kind of food we eat, what speech, our speech, and then he speaks even about charity in the different modes. So everything is being controlled by the modes. We are not able to see. We are not able to understand how this material world is controlling us. But Krishna, he is beyond the modes. He's saying clearly, the modes belong to me. I'm not under the modes of nature. Yet People mistakenly say that, oh, Krishna is under the modes. Well, he's saying, I'm not under the modes. The modes belong to me. He's saying, I'm above the modes. And because we are deluded by the modes, we are not able to understand Krishna's position as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Prabhupada is saying one who comes really to the mode of goodness means the Brahmana. Brahmana, his conception of God is only up to the impersonal Brahman, that God is light. Even he is not able to understand God is a person. Why? Because he's also in the mode of in the mode. Goodness is also a material mode. Even though he's come up to the point of goodness, his understanding is only up to, oh, God is light. Then what's going to happen to us who are in modes of passion and ignorance? We need to hear Lord Chaitanya. That's why he came. Krishna came as Lord Chaitanya to give us this chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra. Lord Chaitanya said, wherever we are, whatever we are, we just continue, we hear about Krishna from Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, and we chant the Hare Krishna mantra. Gradually, we can rise above these modes. We rise rise above goodness and above passion and ignorance, come to the point of goodness, and then surpass the mode of goodness to come to the platform of pure goodness, Shuddha Sattva. So we can do that by engaging in devotional service, by becoming Krishna conscious. Devotional service begins by hearing and chanting. So each of us are in these different modes, different combination and permutation of the modes, depending which body we are in. It's not that only human beings are under the modes, the animals are under the modes of nature, the trees, the plants, the fish, or each of us is under the modes. So, of course, Brahmana, he's called to be mode of goodness, Kshatriya in the mode of passion, Vaishya is combined goodness and passion, and Shudra is in ignorance. But it doesn't mean that they can't change. The modes can change. We can rise above the modes. The more we engage in Krishna consciousness, the looser, because right now we are very tied up by the modes. They are like tight ropes binding us. The more we engage in devotional service, this binding becomes looser. And we can gradually rise. We can rise, and from ignorance to passion, coming to goodness. And then finally give up this goodness also and come to the liberated platform of pure goodness. So it's Krishna's energy. All these modes belong to who? Belong to Krishna. They're working under his. Krishna says in the next verse. So those who are truly established in Krishna consciousness are actually liberated. The pure devotee is not under the modes of nature. The pure devotee is on the liberated platform. He understands things that they are. The modes are not working on him. He can understand Krishna because he's liberated. And that's how he can tell us about Krishna, because he understands the truth. So we'll stop here for today and we can read this one tomorrow. That Krishna tells us how we can get out of the modes, because we are all bound by the modes. Then he's saying, how to get out of the modes? He says, surrender unto me. To get out of the modes means how we can get liberation. Krishna is saying, surrender to me and you can get liberation. We are bound to this material world by the modes. Liberation means getting freed from these modes. And Krishna is saying how we can get free. He says in this 14th verse, surrender. Those who surrender to me can easily rise above the modes, can get liberated. So we'll stop here for today. Thank you so much for listening and enjoying it. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare